Hello, everybody. I am Robert Dilts.
And I'm Mickey Feher.
And we are the co-founders of MindsetMaps International.
And I'm sharing this with you because I'm particularly having a really great day today. I was suffering from a kidney stone and it looks like I gave birth to the stone. So it's a really great day.
We want to present to you today. This is an exciting day because we are finally launching our Mindset Map web app, something that we've been working on for 6 years, 6 years, since 2014. And so we're super excited. We want to show you how it works and some of the benefits that you can get from this and some of the many things that we plan to be doing with it.
And, you know, we both have our story and motivation with Robert, how we came into this. In particular, I worked in business for about 17 years in different companies. Then I started my own company. And I had some of the best moments of my life when I had the right mindset and when other people had the right mindset around me. And I had probably the most difficult moments when I didn't have the right mindset and other people didn't have the right mindset around me. So I was very curious about what would be a way to actually map out a mindset and help people influence their own mindset and other people's mindset.
And in my background, coming from the field of neuro-linguistic programming for many years, of course, the whole idea of a neuro-linguistic program is that it is precisely, your programming determines your mindset. And then about 20 years ago, I established the Dilts strategy group with my brother John, where we realized right away that we were looking at and coaching entrepreneurs and startups, and we realized right away that the ones who were most successful, as Mickey was pointing out, had exactly the right mindset. And so we really started to look at, well, what are some of those key attributes of mindset? And that's what we'd like to share with you. In fact, we are going to start sharing that with you right now. And here we are.
And before we kind of get into that, I think we also want to acknowledge that we have a team. Yes. And that, throughout those 6 years, it was actually a team of people working on this. And one person that we are particularly grateful to is Antonio Meza, who is an amazing illustrator and graphic facilitator. And he's with us today, and he might be sharing some graphs and illustrations as we go.
And in fact, you'll see his artwork and his contribution as we go through this map. And the other,
go. So the other member of our team is, we are rushing to congratulate team members as a good leader, hopefully. So the other team member is George Morvai of Hungary, Budapest, and Clay, who is a digital agency, and they have been helping us with the web app, which you will be seeing later. Thank you to both.
Yes. Well, so this is the idea. We have developed what we call the Success Mindset Map Inventory. And of course, a first question here is, well, what is mindset, and why is it important, especially in today's world? So as we've been saying, our mindset relates to our inner map, our inner model of the world, our mental capabilities, and our attitudes with respect to our lives and the situations that we're facing.
Yeah, and it really determines how we respond. So for example, there's a lot happening around us at this moment, but how we respond to it, what is our relationship to it, what is our perception and interpretation, is going to determine our success.
I think as Mickey's pointing out, as we look around at what's happening in this, especially today in this time of crisis, people who have an adaptable mindset, ones who are able to be proactive and flexible, are going to be able to, deal with deal with the crisis better. And as we all know, crises bring both dangers and opportunities. So in order to be able to address the danger, but to see and take advantage of the opportunities, we need to have that right mindset.
And, we all know that whatever got you to where you are today, this is a well-known proverbial saying, is not enough to keep you there. But I personally always struggled with this, because as much as it makes a lot of sense, what does that mean for me? What do I do? What does it mean for my mindset? So we were really thinking that we would help people by creating this mindset map to be very specific about what is it that brought you here, and what is it that you need to perhaps suggest or set in relationship to your goals.
So in fact, we built this from using the success factor modeling approach developed by Dilts Strategy Group, which is basically, based around this idea that our mindset, which is how we think, and not only just in our head, our mindset also has to do with our, somatic intelligence, our emotional intelligence, but how we, again, this mindset produces our actions. It's kind of like our mental software. So it produces those actions, and then it's our actions, of course, that create the results, the outcomes that we achieve in the world.
And as we were doing a lot of research around success factor modeling, so it actually comes from a lot of modeling and research interviews and working with entrepreneurs. We were also looking at, what are some of the key entrepreneurial focuses or goals and objectives that we are seeing that people set when they succeed. And there's 5 of those, and you will be seeing them in a moment. The first one is to increase your own personal satisfaction. Maybe your business is doing really well, but you are no longer finding personally the satisfaction and joy in what you do, and you would like to find more joy.
And so part of that has to do with connecting into your passion and the whole idea. And especially, I think, if you take today's world right now, if, it's easy to give up, right? It's easy to, to get, either put down or depressed. So if you don't have passion for what you're doing, it's going to be difficult. As one of my favorite examples of this is Warren Buffett, the great investor, is always one of the top 5 wealthiest people in the world. He said it very clearly. He said, if you have no passion, you have no energy. If you have no energy, you have nothing. So getting that sense of purpose and passion is important.
The second objective is, making a genuine contribution to the world. And it's basically this idea of finding some meaning in the work that you do, that it's not just about your personal success. It's not just about a profitable enterprise, but it's making a difference for others. And what is it? And how can you make a genuine contribution?
And I think, again, if you look at our world today, what it really brings up here is that when we are in this kind of crisis, it really shows that, we need to focus on what is meaningful. And I see one of the blessings, in a sense, of this crisis is that it really focuses people on, well, let's do something that makes a difference. Let's do something that is helpful and useful for others.
So the third one is, again, looking at it from the lens of what's happening around us. Now is a really good time to think about innovation. Now is a really good time to think about how do you recharge and how do you stay resilient. So one objective, one focus that you could set is, I'm going to focus all my energies on an innovation. I'm going to find new routes to the market. So that could be another focus.
Yeah, what we're doing here right now is an example of innovation. And again, also this idea of resilience, that you keep reinventing things, you keep coming back. So today, again, it's so much a time for us to think creatively and, of course, to stay resilient.
Another objective that is very important is establishing financial stability. robustness, to grow the business in a certain way so that it brings enough revenue. And, purpose-driven people and conscious people often kind of tend to forget that the business also needs to make some profits. Otherwise, then the business is dead and you can't live your purpose. So again, that could be a focus area for a while to build that.
And again, this idea of being stable and robust, I was thinking it's interesting. This particular moment is a time where we need to, find some, other ways, find new ways to be able to, new business models, new ways of working with things. So I think this is key to obviously to our survival as an organization or an individual.
And then, there's the book, Rich Daddy, Poor Daddy. And basically the idea is that you'll always stay poor daddy if you can't scale your business and you're only selling your own time. So one of the interesting questions in business is, how do you scale the business? And how do you make sure that it's a sustainable business over a longer time? How do you stand on more than one leg?
And in a way, I was thinking about it, as we were going over this. This is exactly the path that Mickey and I followed, creating what we're doing here. Which the first was to connect with our passion. We were both passionate about mindset, and then we said, okay, how could we make a meaningful contribution with this? And then innovating, and actually, over these years, we've done a lot of creative thinking. And of course, now is the time where we're starting to launch this, and hopefully, we are going to, we'll be presenting some of our business models and how we're going to scale. Now, the key here, of course, is what is mindset and how do we find that? And I think some of you might be familiar with this pyramid. We're not going to go over it in detail here, but just basically this idea that, the outcomes are kind of always in our environment. Where are the opportunities? What are the dangers? And then our actions are, well, what do we do? How do we respond to those dangers? How do we take advantage of those opportunities? And then our mindset has to do with these upper levels. Things like our capabilities, our beliefs and values, our sense of identity, and our sense of purpose.
And again, the tricky thing about the 3 levels up there, so the values and beliefs, the identity and purpose, is it's behind the forehead, as I like to say. So you can see this, but you can see what's behind it. So again, this idea of creating a map for being able to be more clear what is behind here is, I think, really intriguing.
So what is this? What is our SFM success mindset map? So, we applied these, this structure. We took this pyramid and the processes of success factor modeling. In some cases, doing in-depth interviews, direct in-depth interviews with people. In other cases, going either over videos or reading, but a lot of research into the ways and the ways of thinking of some of the world's most successful entrepreneurs and people in businesses.
And so we modeled people like Steve Jobs or Richard Branson or Anita Roddick of The Body Shop. But we also wanted to talk to a lot of people who are way lesser known, but are very conscious entrepreneurs and who have succeeded with this idea of balancing profit and purpose.
So these would include people like Muhammad Yunus, who was the founder of microcredit and Nobel Prize winner. Of course, we have others, people who were able to build very scalable businesses, like Howard Schultz of Starbucks or Jeff Bezos of Amazon. Now, those are of course the big names, the well-known names. There's also many others that we've modeled to come up with our map. And as a result, we've identified basically 3 different types of mindset.
And so you could say 3 different types, or you could say actually 3 areas, key areas of mindset. So anybody will have all 3. And what we said is, there's clearly something which is called the meta mindset, which has to do with big picture clarity. What do I love doing? Where am I going? What is my mission? Why am I here? what is my ambition? What is the size of the business that I'm trying to create? What is the size of the impact that I would like to have? And in order to make that impact, who do I need to be? What sort of competencies and skills will I need? What sort of role do I need to play?
And then we said there's also what we've discovered is what we call macro mindset, which are the sort of habits of success. So these are kind of a little bit more structured. What are you doing through time, over time, repetitively? And this, what do you do to keep energy and focused? What do you do to get frequent and honest feedback? You know, are you scanning for opportunities? How do you recharge and rebalance yourself? How do you, become aware of and deal with risks and potential problems?
And you can appreciate that these are things that we all need in order to succeed, but depending on where I'm going, so what kind of objective may I set for myself, I might need a different mix of that. So the third one, which is another key component, is what we call ongoing priorities. And this has to do with habits. This has to do with daily, it actually has to do with activities that are kind of connecting back to passion. So I have identified what my passion is, but do I spend time doing things that I truly like? And do I spend time thinking about my purpose? I know who my target customers are, but have I established an ongoing dialogue with them? Or have I just talked to them in the first phase and now I'm forgetting doing that?
So, for example, as we think about the changes that we have to make today, and I know I often wear different hats through the day. Sometimes, for example, in the past days, a couple of days, Mickey and I had our product development hats on. We're really looking at working in this product. Other times, we are working with our team and developing the team. Other times, we're looking for partnerships and win-win partnerships. So these are all the things that you're kind of doing on a daily basis, and given the particular outcome that you have, you're going to need, again, as we say, a different mix and let's say a different focus.
Right. So here
we get into the map.
So here you see another representation of what the map will look like. And so we've mentioned the levels of the neurological levels where on the top you have your own identity, who you are, and what is your purpose beyond you, right? And then there's the next level, which is your capabilities. So what are the things, what are the skills and competencies and capabilities that you will need to practice to get wherever you want to get? And how do you translate them into behaviors, daily behaviors that you can do on an ongoing basis? And so the three levels, meta, macro, and micro, relate to that.
So here's what our map looks like. We start with particular outcomes, and we know that those outcomes, for example, let's say increasing my personal satisfaction, that's going to relate to some kind of a connection to your passion and your purpose. And what we've done is we kind of have we call it a sort of a major role model, a well-known entrepreneur who's a role model that typifies that. So somebody like Richard Branson would be somebody who really typifies a person who is looking for, passion and personal satisfaction in what they're doing. Somebody like Muhammad Yunus would be somebody who's making a meaningful contribution.
Somebody like Anita Roddick of The Body Shop would be somebody who is really trying to innovate and create a product that has never been seen on the market before.
And to build a scalable business, you have people like Steve Jobs and people like Howard Schultz of Starbucks, who are representing these mindsets relating to ambition, having ambitions, but also knowing your role.
And then if you look at a goal like establishing financial robustness, I guess Jeff Bezos is a really good example for that, who started from his garage and now is one of the largest businesses in the United States.
And the wealthiest man in the world, even
right.
Bill Gates. So you'll see that in the map here, we have these icons, and we'll be using these icons, as you'll see in a moment when we actually go to the map. but we also add here then our macro mindset, habits of success, and our micro mindset, ongoing priorities. And so this is how we start to build that map.
And the key here is this idea of it's a dynamic thing. You can set your mind in a certain way. So it's not, be this or be that. No, it's more like, if this is your objective, what type of mindset, what type of combination do you need out of all of these success factors?
One thing you'll see when we go to the actual web app in just a moment, you'll see that we also have some other icons relating to role models that are they're more like archetypal examples of people who also sort of capture different characteristics of mindset. And they are, we chose adventurers or explorers because we tend to look at starting a business or a project as an adventure. And so we have people like Ulysses, Noah, people like Columbus.
Or Admiral Nelson. And,
Francis Drake.
Francis Drake.
And Shackleton, Ernest Shackleton. So these were all people who had different ways of navigating through their various adventures. So that's kind of thing you can see, and it's explained in detail on the app itself. We want to right now go to the app, because what happens is you get a comparison of your own mindset with the ideal mindset for the goal that you have, for the entrepreneurial goal and focus that you have. You can see here, this is a screenshot, and we'll show you the actual screen in just a moment, of, it's on this side, it's showing me, for example, this is mine, and where are my strengths, which are the role models that I am most like. So it's saying that I'm a lot like Ulysses, Noah, and Ernest Shackleton, which is a very interesting combination. But that I need to be more like Muhammad Yunus and Howard Schultz, which is also a very interesting combination. And what you'll see inside of this is that there are the various icons representing the different elements of mindset. Now, if we go to the actual, here we are coming now to the actual, here's our questionnaire. So this is now, here's a live version of this map. And just so you could see, these the ones that are marked in red here are the ones that I need to focus on. And if you click on it, it'll tell you, I need to become more of a competence builder, and I need to, encourage and provide opportunities for my team members to learn and grow. And you'll also see there are some quotes from some of the people that we've modeled. For example, Jason Fried, Basecamp. If we click on, it's going a little slow here right now. Hello. Well, okay, I think, so again, you can click on any one of these icons and it'll tell you something. So if I click here, it shows me, oops, sorry. Again, it will give me information about what that icon means, and where I'm going to need to be focusing to improve
in order to be more innovative and develop more resilience. So you will, on the ideal map, what you will see is, this is your goal, and for your goal, this is what's relevant. So it's Howard Schultz and Muhammad Yunus that you need more of. And then it will show you, for your meta mindset and for your macro mindset, what are the particular things that you need to get better at. And it will, in this case,
It also offers you, as you'll see there, it says, we recommend you use the following tool. If you click on this tool, this particular one says identifying your area of excellence. It's going to take us to a tool where it explains what that is, and guides you to some questions of how to do that. There's another tool here about establishing the role of your project or venture, mapping your hero's journey. We have another example would be, here's a team alignment worksheet that would be there. So again, you're going to get your profile and the ideal map and suggestions for improvement. Now, just to show you really briefly, so when you go through the inventory to actually build your map, it looks something like this. You start with meta mindset. This is, again, you have an example here. You have a statement. For example, here, I know what I really love to do or what I'm passionate about. Where do I fit on this scale here? So you have a scale where you can determine, as you see, I feel pretty passionate. Actually, I'm going to put that up to 10 right now because that's what I feel. I know what I want to create in the long-term future. You know, some of that is still building, but I know what my direction is regardless. Actually, I do know my purpose a little bit more than that. I'm going to put that one up. Anyway, you see that you are adjusting. And with these icons, if you click on the icon, it shows you why this is the icon, for example, for ambition, and it shows you why we tell you why we've chosen that. We also have our two. You
need to close that window, I think.
Yeah, except that. Yeah, okay, you're right. We also have our two other, our role model and our archetype. So if we click on Sir Francis Drake, it tells us why we've chosen him, why he represents ambition. Would be the same thing with Steve Jobs. If you click on him, it gives you that information about Steve and some quotes. So again, you'll see that you can go through this. You'll be able to do this online yourselves.
So you actually go through multiple mindset assessments. First your macro, first your meta assessment, then now your macro assessment, and you can choose your put in your answers, and then it's going to take you to your micro mindset. So, you know, now, the ongoing priorities.
Micro mindset works a little differently because for these things, like setting aside time to reconnect with what you love to do and what's important, you have three statements. I enjoy doing that, I'm good at it, and I'm spending time doing it, because these are that you might have different things. Some things you might be good at, but you don't really enjoy it that much. Other things you enjoy and you're good at, but you're not spending time doing it. Sometimes you're neither good at it or enjoy it, but you're spending a lot of time doing it. So as you see, these give you a different type of profile depending upon which ones you choose or click on. So anyway, you see, we then go and choose our current focus. And in this case, I had chosen achieving greater innovation. But let's say I said, well, actually, I want to focus on getting some more financial stability. I would choose that. And when I go to the results, it now shows me, this is my mindset map.
And you will get a whole description of your strengths and, you know, top 3 areas in meta, macro, and micro. And then it will take you to the ideal mindset map from the point of view of your goal, which is financial robustness. And it will highlight, you know, some areas where you might need some readjusting, or you might need some tools that will help you to get better at it.
So this, because as you'll see, because I chose a different focus, it's proposing different tools for me, given where my current mindset is and this ideal mindset. We can also look directly at the comparison, so you can see them side by side. And again, the red ones, the ones that are highlighted in red, are my areas of focus.
So the idea is that you actually go through the assessment, and then what you get is you get your own success mindset map. It points out certain gaps, and you also get some tools, and all of this is sent to you in an email. So you will have a PDF version of your mindset map, and you will have, you know, links that will take you to tools, and that's actually available to you free of charge.
So it just sent me an email version of those results on a PDF. So so that's basically, you know, the functioning of our web app. Now, again, this is the kind of thing that you can go online and explore yourself. So we don't want to go into all the details of that. That's something that I think will be much easier for you to do. But what we would like to do is to talk about, well, what happens next, and because just getting the tool may not be enough. So
exactly, we have a few slides for that to share with you.
Yeah, actually, I need to go back here. So we'll go back to our slides. All right, we are. So after you get your comparison and you get your report, what else comes?
So, you know, that's before we kind of talk about, you know, what else is available to you and what is the kind of customer journey experience as you go through this app, because clearly you will start first with the inventory. We also wanted to take the big picture for a moment and tell you a little bit about our vision, and then I'm going to come back to, you know, what happens once you filled out your inventory. So the bigger vision is that we're hoping to build more than just an online web app, right? We're hoping to share a tool with entrepreneurs, leaders around the world, and we are hoping to build a repository of support around it. So one of the things that we're planning to do is that we'll have a coach certification for coaches who are interested in working with the Success Mindset Map. Because as you can see, you're going to get a gap analysis, you're going to get some ideas, but it's going to take you to a certain point, but you might need more help than that. You might need the help of a professional coach that can work with you and your particular goals for your business. So the idea is, yeah, go ahead.
Well, just that you know, we're going to also have special web classes and web courses for example, to show how to use some of the tools. We're going to have a series of web classes that are going to focus on, you know, if you do want to scale your business, what would be, you know, the kind of mindset to take on, what are going to be some of the priorities. So in addition to coaching, there will also be our webinars and also in other e-learning tools.
So the next one here, what you see is the B2B mindset map. So I called it business to business mindset map, because right now this is built with the idea that you are probably an entrepreneur who is running a business, and you have certain goals and outcomes that you would like to achieve, and we are helping you with that. But there's going to be another version, which is going to be what we call the conscious leadership mindset map. And this will be particularly useful for people who work as a leader in an organization, in a for-profit or a nonprofit organization. So that's going to come soon.
And we're also going to be looking for this. Obviously, this is in English. We're going to be looking for partners in other languages and other geographical areas that want to also work with the overall mindset map concept with us.
Right. So now looking at things, kind of going back to where Robert handed off from the app. So you've got your gap analysis, you got an email from us, so you filled out the mindset map, you have your results and you can compare, and you got some free tools. So we are kind of step 1, step 2, step 3. So what's next? So if you try the tools and you explore a little bit, you're going to have questions. You know, I try to answer the questions, but I'm not sure I'm getting this right. I'm trying to put, you know, a more clear picture of my vision here, and I try to clarify it, but I think I need some help. So at that point, you might go to step 4 and get personalized advice and coaching from one of our mindset coach faculty members. So that's available to you already now at this point, and we are looking to grow that faculty. If you think that you'd like more and you like to work with other people, because coaching is one-on-one, you might go to step 5, and you might think about participating, as Robert said, in one of the courses about one of the MindsetMap tools, or you might be part of a mastermind group with a bunch of other entrepreneurs, maybe from the same sector or from the same geographical area.
And these are things that we are going to be planning to provide. We'll be giving you the link to our main website. There's the tool, but there's the MindsetMap, Mindset International rather website, in addition to the Mindset Maps. Now we also have, as Mickey was saying, as part of our goal here, for those of you who are interested and are coaches and want to maybe be part of the professional coach community that is, participating with us in this MindsetMap International. We are going to be, in a moment, we'll be announcing when we'll be doing our webinar series. And if somebody wants to become a coach with us, they can start by participating in those 5 webinars.
And then there's going to be a specific certification course that is really aiming at those coaches who now would like to coach their own customers and would like to establish what we call here an account with MindsetMaps International, so that people come in, use your coach code, and then you get the results from us.
So if you're coaching an individual and you have an account with us, that individual can go online, they use the Mindset Map, and you get their results so that you can, where their strengths are and where their areas of improvement are, so you can use them directly to help your client. And then again, as another option, after kind of going through that, there's the possibility of becoming partners with our Mindset Map International.
Yes, if you're a company and you're looking at, I'm interested in these countries in South America or Latin America, or I'm in China, or I'm in Russia, so one particular geographical area, and you're a business, then you could be our partner, and we'll be announcing more about the partner program as we go. So that's again a bigger picture, and now coming down to, okay, so what's next here? What are we doing next from here? Exactly. And so we would like to announce the 5 entrepreneurial focus webinars. And you have already heard about those 5 key focuses, and we talked about how each of them might require a different set of or combination of the success factors that we were looking at for meta, macro, and micro. And so along those lines, we're going to be doing those 5 webinars. And the first one is going to be about increasing your personal satisfaction in what you're doing. And that's going to be on May 6th at 1 p.m. EDT, so kind of at the same time. And these are going to be short, sharp, focused, concentrated 1-hour webinars, really looking at that particular setup that would support that particular focus.
And then the second one will be on making a genuine and meaningful contribution. That's planned for May 20th. Again, same time.
Exactly. May 29th will be about achieving greater innovation and resilience. The 4th is going to be about establishing financial robustness. And the 5th, about building a scalable business. There's going to be a recording, obviously, that's going to be available after this. And there is also, there's going to be registration set up on our websites. And here there is an important distinction that Robert already mentioned. So there are 2 websites, essentially. One is MindsetMaps.com. So that's going to be our website about, this is the website of MindsetMap International, the company, and this is where we make announcements. This is where you will register and potentially make payments. And then there's this other website, which is mindset-maps.com, which is the web app address. And this is where you go if you want to do your mindset map and you want to get your results.
So I'm showing you, this is the, right now, this is the home page. This is the Mindset Maps International homepage. And you can see this is, you know, where some of our partners, you know,
this is where you registered for today as well.
You registered for today. And of course, the link will be on there to take the inventory. But this gives you some description about Mindset Map International, about who we are. Anyway, this is the main mindset link.
Company then, home, corporate kind of corporate homepage. Yeah.
Yeah, and then this the other one is taking you, oops, takes you to, well, with the page of the hold on,
inventory.
The inventory. Let me just, we'll go back to that page, which is there. This page, and it will take you to by the way, this tells you, you know, what is the mindset map, how is it structured. There's a lot of information there.
So as kind of rounding this up, you know, so what's happening next, and perhaps Robert, you can maybe put back the last page.
Okay.
Just one more time. Maybe it's a good time to take a screenshot if anybody wants to.
We'll also have this information on the
web page. Yeah. But again, you will see the dates here. So May 6th, May 20th, 29th, June 8th, and June 17th, always at the same time, 1 p.m. EDT, 7 p.m. CET. And each of these sessions will be short, sharp, concise, focused on one entrepreneurial goal. The participation there is $30 per person per session. So we wanted to make it a very affordable thing. And it's really recommended that you go through all 5, because mindset, as we said, it's something that needs to change. So even in our own journey, you know, we've noticed how in the first phase, it was more about, you know, innovation and, you know, connecting to passion and purpose, and then moving to innovation. But then pretty soon you need to think about, okay, so how do I scale this? How do I create some revenues from this? So it's an ongoing process, and in different points in time in the life cycle of your enterprise, you will need to be able to work with each of those mindsets.
So, that's what we wanted to share with you. As you see, this has been something that we've been putting a lot of work into, and is something that is still also it's still unfolding and developing. It's something that we're really excited about. We'll be obviously mentioning more about what we're doing, and looking forward to, I'm sure for some of you, we'll be working with you on our team as coaches. And as Mickey was saying, we are currently working on developing our business version for conscious leaders. So there's a lot in store, a lot ahead.
In the meantime, you can go to mindset-maps.com and do your own inventory and look at the map for yourself. We are, kind of in the final testing phase. So there are minor bugs sometimes that we've noticed. So if you find something, we are grateful if you send us an email, and you can send that to Mickey@mindsetmaps.com, or, the webpage has also
back on. So Mickey,
our email address.
So again, Mickey@mindsetmaps.com, and
also information@mindsetmaps.com. So those are both good email addresses to contact us.
So some of the other things that we do have planned, and we'll be doing like for each of those tools, there's many tools, and for each one of them, we're going to be doing sort of a focused web, web class on each of them. So I think there'll be a lot in store, a lot ahead.
So we're really looking forward to engaging with you and continuing this conversation. This was kind of our first step. So thank you for being with us and listening to us. And we really encourage you to engage more. So please do the inventory, talk to us, and hopefully, we'll see you on the 6th of May on our first webinar.
So thank you very much. And say on these, even though these are challenging times, they call for us to really get our mindset right. And that's what this is all about.
So you have your map. Now the next question is, are you going to be, what kind of Aikido master are you going to be? Because you know where you want to get to now, you know where you are, but you're going to be swinging out left, right, here, there, things are going to be happening. But the good thing is you're going to be in charge because you will know how to set your mind the right way. So good luck.
Good luck.
And thanks for being with us today. Yeah. Bye-bye now.
Yeah, bye.